Let me catch my breath. Hi friends, welcome back to the most chemically imbalanced black girl podcast there is. Episode 38 is here, and I have a lot to talk about today, so I feel like y'all gonna get an hour out of me. I'm not promising that. Watch, as soon as I say that, y'all look at the time, it's like 36 minutes. Anyway, I got a lot to talk about today. Before I jump into the episode, first of all, I just want to say I will never, ever, ever complain about doing this podcast solo ever again. I promise you, y'all not going to hear me complain about it ever again. This weekend, if I had a co-host, my co-host would have been fed the fuck up, y'all. She or he would have been like, I don't think we can do this anymore because you're pissing me off. We have a schedule. We have times that we record. We have this and that. We have this and that. And I was just not on any of that. But I can explain myself. Let me just start from the beginning. So basically, last week, a bitch was so sad. I got so sad because I watched like this really in-depth video of this girl basically saying how it's like lame to watch YouTube videos anymore, or you know, or her attention span isn't that long, like if the video isn't like shorter than 5 minutes, she's not watching it, and this and that. And then I'm reading the comments and they're like, yeah, like that's high school shit, watching like couple pranks, and you know, and like some of the comments were like, how do y'all have enough free time to be watching whole hour-long YouTube videos? And it really discouraged me because the video had like more than 1 million views, likes, and the comments were in, you know, it was a couple 100,000 of them comments, and I was like, no, it made me really, really sad, because I was like, of course, at the time I'm trying to like make my mark on YouTube is the exact time where YouTube is like dying off, or nobody has the attention span to watch a full YouTube video, right? And then the girl who made the video was a black girl, and everybody in the comments was black, so I was like, not my target audience, like, please. So that feeling of I'm wasting my time, or nobody is, even if you put 1,000 hours in, nobody's gonna give 1,000 hours back. Like, nobody gives a fuck anymore. Like, the wave of watching YouTube videos and watching podcasts is slowly dying, and there's no point in doing it, right? So that feeling carried on into Sunday. Nothing. And then I remember something. I think I might have told y'all about this before, but I had a memory of one time I was scrolling on TikTok, and I scrolled past this live of where it was like a girl, like she was facing away from the camera. She was sleeping in her truck, right? Like, and on the caption it said, take a lunch break with me, or something like that. She was sleeping. So I'm looking, and she's not like snoring or anything. So I click on the live to see how many people were watching. Y'all, it was 20,000 people watching this girl sleep in her passenger seat. Like, she wasn't doing anything. I'm thinking she's gonna like fart or burp or like do a party trick. Like, I'm thinking she's gonna do something. 20,000 people are watching you. There's gotta be a joke. And to no surprise, there wasn't. This bitch was knocked out. Like, she was just having a very good nap. It looked delicious. And including me, by the way, 20,000 people in one. I was one of them. I stayed there for 5 minutes because, like I said, I was waiting on the trick. And so I kind of had like this epiphany. I was like, if there's 20,000 people that'll watch this random girl sleep in her car for I'm guessing 30 minutes to an hour, however long her lunch break is. If there's 20,000 people that can watch that and find a humor or engagement or some type of dopamine in that, there's at least a cool million. I could grab at least a cool million people that'll fuck with my content. Y'all understand? Y'all feel that? I feel like that math I did was just good. I feel like those percentages were really good. Like 20,000 people just watching a girl sleep. It has to be over 1 million people that'll like me. You know what I'm saying? Like this podcast, like what I got to say. I know for a fact it is. Because I could turn on the camera right now and fall asleep. Like, if that's the thing that makes people want to watch, I know I also have it. So if any of y'all know anybody that like to watch people sleep, bring them over here, because they might also like this. I'm just saying, because there's no way 20,000 people watching her sleep. And they were like talking to each other in the like little comment section of the live. I was like, these people are actually like enjoying themselves. And they have hella free time. So I need those people I need those people that like watching people sleep, or just like to watch, or just have hella free time. Excuse me. I need those people to swing over here to the podcast. So basically, a girl sleeping in her car pulled me out of my funk. But on top of that, y'all, this weekend has been treacherous because I did record an episode. This episode is only coming out late because I had to edit that episode and it was trash. Y'all, let me tell you something about that episode. Let me tell you something right now. I feel like that woman, that motherfucker. Let me tell you something. That episode will never see the light of day, okay? Your girl did a little traveling over the weekend, okay? Got a little drunk. Got a little, you know? I was fucked up. I like to record. Personally, I like to record in the mornings. I like the ambiance. I like the weather. It's just nicer. I feel good when I wake up. It's the perfect time to record. I got shit fresh on my brain. I'm ready. I can chill for the rest of the day, right? Girl, the hangover I woke up with and still decided to record an episode I should be put in jail. Honestly, somebody should have arrested me that day, because I went back to listen and edit the episode, and I immediately was like, oh hell no. Like this cannot be me. There's no way. I sounded so drunk, and y'all know I stutter. Everybody who listens to this podcast know I got a tiny bit of a stuttering problem. This stuttering sound like a bitch was in a beatbox competition and I'm eating the other contestants up. I was really struggling, y'all. My words were slurring. I was hiccuping every 8 minutes. I was like, this is disgusting. And it was a really short episode. It was only about maybe 45 minutes. But there was and I was on a roll. At one point, I was like screaming. I was like getting mad. I was like, what is happening? That episode will never see the light of day. I didn't delete it because I feel like at some point in the future it's going to be funny to like post a little clip from it. But like the full episode, never, ever, y'all. Never. I've never been so ashamed. And let me tell you something. Y'all know I like to dabble in the Mary Jane. Never once have I ever recorded this episode high. The only thing I've ever done was I've recorded an episode while I was on shrooms. And shrooms doesn't make me tweak out. It just make me real calm. Now, I'll smoke, wait a couple hours, and then I'll record. But I have never picked up a mic straight off the blunt. It was like, let's freestyle. Like, I can't do shit like that. I don't want to sound like a fucking crackhead. Like, I can't record this podcast under the influence of any type, unless it's like LSD. But y'all, if I would have put the episode out, I feel like somebody would have called the police to my house. Like, somebody had to have a gun to her head. She did not post this willingly. It was disgusting. But yes, guys, that is my little excuse for not posting. Like I said, I'm going to try to give y'all a really long episode But okay, enough of my little tangents. Let's jump right into the episode, y'all. And I have so much to talk about. But I want to start with a little debate that I was having with some friends of mine. And you guys might have seen the poll that I put up on Instagram. And I need y'all to just listen for a second. So the poll I put up on Instagram, the question was, who has a more global household name between Beyoncé and Lionel Messi? If you don't know who Lionel Messi is, that's cool because you just proved my point already. But for context, Lionel Messi is a football player. I don't know the country he's from because I'm not a fan. I don't know anything about him. All I know is the sport he plays. The reason this debate has conjured up so much heat in my life is because it all started while I was telling my friends a story about the time I was in LA. I think I was visiting my uncle and I was coming back to either Virginia or Florida. I can't remember. And I saw Lionel Messi in the airport. Didn't know who he was. The only reason I stopped and looked is because there was another grown-ass man that was freaking the fuck out. And he was kissing Lionel Messi on the face, on the neck. He bent down on his knees and was kissing his feet. I've never seen no shit like it in my life, y'all. I've never and I stopped walking because I was like, first of all, why are you letting this? I mean, do you know him? Like, why are you letting this random ass grown ass man kiss on you like this? I've never seen nobody kiss nobody's feet in person. I was so shocked, y'all. And Messi was just standing there. Like, he was just standing there, like, awkwardly smiling. Like, oh, thank you, brother. Like, he was just letting him do it. And he had security, but his security won't do anything either. So I was like, who is this nigga? Or he has to know him. Like, that has to be his brethren or something. Like, he just let him do that to him. So when I'm telling the story, My friends are like, oh yeah, like Messi is that nigga, like people like will pass out in his presence. And I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Like he's a soccer player, like he's a football player. I was like, I don't understand why that would make anybody want to go kiss your feet, but okay. And I was jokingly, I was like, that nigga not Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? Like I was joking. And then my friend talk about something, oh, he bigger than Beyonce. Okay. Wait a minute. No, he's not. I don't care how long he been playing football. I don't care how many trick shots this nigga can do. He's not bigger than Beyonce. Everybody knows Beyonce, bitch. I didn't know this nigga until I Googled him. Or I was asking it, like, who was that? And they was like, oh, that's Lionel Messi. Who? So then my friend was pressing, like, oh, everybody do know Lionel Messi. He's one of the biggest men. Like, everybody knows. I was like, if you're not a sports fan, and if you're not from the country that nigga is from, I promise you there's a slim chance in hell that you even know who Lionel Messi is. And even if you've heard the name before, I promise you won't be able to pick that nigga out of a lineup. If you have to see his face and pick him out, I promise you won't know who he is. There could be, I know hella people that aren't Beyonce fans, but everybody know that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows who Beyonce is. You might have heard the name Lionel Messi once or twice in your lifetime. I promise you, that nigga could be shopping right next to you at Target. You'd never know. Don't nobody know who that is. And I'm not saying that he's not a talented football player. You know, that's not what I'm saying at all. He's obviously the GOAT. I mean, I saw a man kiss his fucking feet. Them feet are golden. He could do a lot with them. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, globally, around the world, this bitch is literally on a world tour as we speak. I'm just saying, everybody knows Beyonce. And I wasn't even trying to do all that. It's just that the fact that my homeboy kept saying that he was bigger than Beyonce, and I'm like, I don't think you know who Beyonce is. Like, I really think you got Beyonce fucked up, because nobody is bigger than Beyonce. Beyonce is the celebrity. Like, what are you talking about? And I also just want to point out that the guy in the airport that was kissing Messi's feet was also from his country. So it wasn't like it was a random, like, white dude, black dude, Asian dude. Like, he was obviously from, they were speaking, like, he was, that's his nigga. Like, he knows Messi, right? It's just like somebody from Texas going up to Beyonce and be like, oh my God, bitch, I love you so much. Oh, lemonade, she saved my life. Like, it's the same exact thing. The only difference is Beyonce could have that literally anywhere, and I'm pretty sure Messi can't. Now, there's a lot of guys. Surprisingly, I keep telling y'all this, there's a lot more guys that watch this podcast than women, which is crazy to me. But I know y'all are listening, and I just need the feedback, right? I know I'm right. And I know, and I could even say this. To make the debate even. There are probably a lot more male fans for Messi than there are for Beyonce. So I can see why men would think that Messi is bigger than Beyonce, but I promise you he's not. He's just not. He probably does have more male fans, but overall, he just doesn't. And then niggas was bringing up Instagram followers. I was like, let's not do that. Let's not take it there. You know what I'm saying? You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. You know, let's not take it to the internet. You know what I mean. And he was like, you ain't never seen Beyonce get her feet kissed? First of all, Julius is not letting nobody get even an inch close to Beyonce. That nigga will break somebody's face. You think he gonna get to Beyonce feet? You think a random nigga is just gonna go up to Beyonce and kiss her feet? You've got to be joking. That nigga will be dead or in jail in seconds. Like, huh? That's what I'm saying. Like, you can actually approach Messi. He won't stop you. If you want to kiss that man on his mouth, I'm pretty sure he gonna let you. If you even see Beyonce, if you even get the opportunity to smell Beyonce, bitch, you are one of one. You know what I'm saying? That was just my point. Like, you're not getting that close to Beyonce. You're just not. Messi probably loved the fact that nigga was kissing his feet. Like I said, he was just standing there. By the way, the poll won with Beyonce on Instagram. When I put up the poll, at the end of the day, Beyonce had like 30 votes. Messi, I'm not gonna lie, Messi had about 5 and 8. He had about 8, 9 votes. And they weren't all men. So I was like, okay, that's fair. It just depends on, you know, how you grew up, where you from, and all that shit, you know? But Beyonce definitely won, like I knew she would. So I wasn't even bothered. Okay, guys, moving on. There's something I want to talk about, but it's so deep. And this is the thing. This is the thing that I told you I was yelling at in the first time I tried to record this episode. This is the thing that had me yelling. So I think I'm going to wait. But I'm going to talk to y'all about something that I was talking to my aunt about. My aunt finna catch a stray. She gonna listen to this episode like, why did you have to talk about that? But it really had to happen. So recently I'm at my aunt's house, right? And my aunt is one of those people who she's really gonna be like, there is no point I should have caught this many stray bullets in this episode. But anyway, my aunt is one of those people who has a lot of money, right? But my aunt is also one of those people who has a million fucking kids. And she just like kind of feels sorry for herself, right? Because she's always miserable. She always has to do stuff with her kids. She just doesn't feel like she has any individuality anymore. House huge as fuck, beautiful yard, beautiful everything. Like she's living literally like the American dream, or what the stereotypical American dream is, right? So I'm over her house and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was like, I could never live in a house this big, but this is such a beautiful house. Like, girl, if I had your money, I'd be in Peru. Da 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 da. I'm just saying, like, I'm giving her props. Like, this is like, you have an amazing life. Like, you shouldn't be sad all the time. Not saying that you shouldn't be sad all the time, because people got their shit. I'm sad all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I was just saying, like, if I had the opportunities and the money you had, my life would be so different. And she was like, yeah, girl, but, money ain't everything. Money don't buy happiness and stuff. I got all this money and I'm still miserable. And it's just like, we had to have a little bit of a conversation, because I was telling her, like, I really don't like when people say that shit. Like, it really bothers me. And I know there's a lot of people that think just like me on this topic. But I really think people that have money say money doesn't buy happiness, because having money makes you feel invincible, right? And having that mindset drives you to do shit like you wouldn't do back when you were broke. But your brain doesn't even know how to operate on broke logic anymore. Or God forbid it ever did if you were born into money, right? Money 100% buys happiness for people who know what to buy. Once you hit a certain tax bracket, you just become like delusional and like oblivious to everyday common sense. You don't need to rely on street smarts or the grind or the hustle, because you're not going back. Or if you've ever been there. When you have money, you can fuck around and get married to someone you've known for 6 months, because your thought process becomes, well, if I can afford it, why wouldn't I do it? Instead of, this genuinely makes me happy and I want to do it. And that's sad, because that's low-key abuse. And I know the saying, like, money changes people and shit like that. But I really don't think money changes people. I think the same person you are when you're rich is the same person you wanted to be when your ass was broke. You just couldn't afford the fucking consequences. Like, being broke really humbles you, and it makes you remember your place in life on a fucking daily basis. So if you ever seen somebody, like, if y'all have ever seen somebody get a ton of money out of nowhere and switch up, I promise you, it wasn't even the switch up. That motherfucker just been like that. He just literally couldn't afford to show it. I promise you. Like, it's insane. There's no way you can tell me that the person that got money, that's all rude now or all miserable now, or whatever the case may be, you can't tell me that they weren't showing signs of that back when they were broke. They just know that they had to act right or act accordingly to their pockets, because if they did while out, they don't have the financial stability to get themselves out of that wreck. And we've all seen an example of your favorite singer, rapper, performer, whatever. Just you lack so much of people skills when you hit a certain tax bracket. Like, you just have no common sense of how the world works anymore, because, like I said, you feel invincible. You feel like you can do anything, have anything, experience anything, eat anything. And when you feel like that and some shit goes wrong, like it always does, because life is hard as fuck, whether you're broke or rich, it's just like, oh, money can't buy happiness. Oh, I got all this money, you think I'd be happy? That's because you're not buying the right shit. You're not buying the right shit, and you're not using your broke logic to spend this money. That's why most people stay rich. If you spend money like you don't got money, that's how you keep money. And a lot of people just don't do that. You're buying shit that you think is going to make you happy, but if you would have bought the shit that you needed when you were broke, you would probably be a lot more happier. And, having 1,000 kids probably is not, what I'm saying? That's probably not what you would have done. Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, there's things that you do when you got money that you probably wouldn't have done if you were broke. And that is the result. That's your personal result of having money, and why you think money isn't the root of your happiness. I don't know how to explain it, y'all, but I think y'all get what I'm saying. I know hella people right now, $50 will change their whole life. And it's not about the fact of having $50. It's about what they do with that $50 that is going to improve their life so much, because they know what they need to do with this $50. I personally can make $50 last 2 weeks. I'm eating well and I'm fed. I'm eating well and I'm dressed really good because I was poor. Like, I've been homeless before. I've been poor before. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you don't know what to do with it, obviously it's not going to change anything. Or it could eventually get worse because you're not doing what the fuck you need to be doing with it. And that's my point. My aunt was not trying to hear none of that, by the way. She was like, no, all these fucking kids and I got the money, can't even do nothing with it. Okay, sis, that's a problem that you're going to have to talk to somebody else about. Like, I can't help you with that, okay? I don't know what to say to that. I don't have no kids. I cannot share that experience with you. But I do know that if you didn't have the money you have, I promise you wouldn't have had all these fucking kids. And that is a fact. I love my cousins down. Do not get it twisted. I love my cousins. Love them all. But I know for a fact, if she was broke, ain't no way she would have had 1,000 kids. You would have had 1 and 2 and you would have stopped, because that is as far as your pockets led you. But since you felt like, I can afford 1,000 kids, I'm going to have 1,000 kids, and now look at the result that it gave you. You know what I mean? You weren't thinking like a broke bitch. You were thinking like somebody who just has money to spend. And now you can only spend it on those fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? So just, think about that. Just sit on that for a little bit. Okay, guys, little caveat. I just have a couple random things I want to say before I get into the next topic, because the next topic is a little heavy. I'm not going to lie. So the first thing I want to say is a question. Oh my God, I love that song. What the fuck is, I just heard it. I just heard somebody in the car blasting it, drove by the house. What is that Weeknd song? I know I got ADHD. Anyway, what is that Weeknd song? I think it's new, but I heard it for the first time like last week. And it's got, I don't know, like that nigga sprinkled a little leftover cocaine from House of Balloons in that song. I was like, okay, like, and it's given like early 2000s a little bit. I don't know the song for the life of me, but it's real upbeat, and I think it's new. Like I said, I only heard it for the first time last week. Hold on. What is it? The song is called Popular. I just looked it up. It's called Popular. I don't know what he did to that song. Like I said, he had some leftover heroin or something in the back corner from when he was recording House of Balloons. But that song, he ate all of that. He ate that. But originally what I was going to say is I don't know how to say this because I don't want to sound like a hating ass bitch. But I saw a video of... Okay, wait, let me set it up. This is about to be so random, but it just popped in my head and I have to talk about it. So as somebody who like suffers with like image and like self-esteem and stuff like that, I think it's really important to know, even if you don't think that you're attractive, or even if, you think you are attractive, I think it's really important to learn your body and your face as you grow older. Because stuff starts to settle, stuff starts to wrinkle, stuff starts to fold, bumps start to pop up, moles starts to pop up, hair starts sprouting from shit you didn't even know hair could sprout from. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's really important to learn your face as you get older, so that way you can age gracefully, right? Please tell me that makes sense. Because recently, I saw a video of Jesse McCartney. I haven't thought about this nigga since 2008. Promise you I haven't. But the video looked like, hold on. Now, I personally don't know how old Jesse McCartney is. I'm gonna assume he's in his late 30s, early 40s. I truly don't know. Or at least that's what it gave, right? But his you can tell I'm trying not to sound like a hating ass bitch, but he looked like he was still in 2010, right? Not even that, bitch. He looked like he was in 2007. But his face gave 40-year-old man. This man had on a tight-ass leather jacket, a black V-neck, some jeans, some tight jorts, by the way, with the little rips in it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he had blonde highlights slicked back like it was the year 2009. And it just, that is not you anymore. And he looked awful because you can tell he doesn't know his look anymore. You can tell that he hasn't developed what 30-year-old or 40-year-old Jesse McCartney looks like, or what my steez is, or what my style is, or how to even style myself as this 38, 40-year-old man. Like I'm used to being, 22, 17, 19. I'm used to dressing like I'm in the fucking Backstreet Boys, you know what I'm saying? And it was just so sad to see, because I know that he still think he looks good like that. And he didn't. He didn't whatsoever. Like, not even a little bit. He looked fucked up. He was sweating and shit. I know he had like highlight juice in his eye. Like, it looked awful. And I think that that's really important. And it kind of made me think that I have to grow with my look. I have to evolve my style and the way I do my hair and the way I treat myself. I have to evolve over time, because if I get stagnant with a certain look, I'm going to end up looking like fucking Jesse McCartney, and I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And that happens to a lot of people. But also, it doesn't. Like Steve Carell, wonderful. He is like the perfect he's like the perfect example of somebody who knew exactly what they looked like and kept knowing exactly what they looked like as they got older, because he aged like fine wine. I love to see it. I love when people get older and they look. The Rock is another one. You can say what you want about The Rock. I know that nigga play the same character in every movie he in, but that nigga knows exactly what he looks like, and he dresses and he looks good, because they know their face. They know that they're getting older, and they know that they need to adapt to the age growth, and they do it well because they know. Y'all know what the hell I'm trying to say. But okay, y'all. So, here it is. There's been something that I want to talk about, and I finally have a big enough opinion to share. Even though it's old news now and nobody's talking about it anymore, I kind of like that, because I don't like to, be in the middle. But before I share, I just want to give a little PSA, because this might be your first episode, bitch. This might be the first episode that you clicked on, that you decided to give a shot. I just need y'all to know that this is not, or ever will be, a podcast where we do deep dives into celebrity lives / drama. Movies and music is all we doing over here, right? I refuse to use my free time to talk about a motherfucker that got more money than me. You know what I'm saying? I won't do that. I don't care enough. I won't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. Except for today. Now, I just shortly want to talk about the Meg and Tory situation. Very briefly, y'all. Very briefly. Because my faith in humanity the cup, bitch, is almost empty. And I can't do this. I have seen people say the weirdest shit, and I can't understand it, y'all. First of all, I just want to say 10 years is not long enough for somebody shooting at me. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. There's no way I can be convinced otherwise. I don't think people realize how traumatizing it is to be shot or be shot at. Like, that shit literally changes your life. I've literally seen people comment, like, the bullet didn't even hit her, like, she's dragging it. Like, imagine somebody saying that to your mom or your daughter. Like, I mean, I ain't even shoot that bitch for real. I was trying, but I mean, that shit barely grazed her. Like, hey, excuse me? Nigga, what? Then it was people saying, like, oh, she wasn't thinking about being shot when she was sleeping with him. Like, duh, nigga. People cannot wait to use the fact that women are sexually active beings for a chance to weaponize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people cannot wait to bring up how many people you fucked, when you fucked, who you fucked, how you fucked, why you fucked. Like, people cannot wait to bring that up about women, and it drives me insane, y'all. And let me just say this before I keep going. If you think that he didn't shoot her, or you think that Megan is the sole reason that Tory is in jail, I need you to turn this podcast off and don't turn it on again. You know what I'm saying? I don't even say that about y'all. I don't even talk to y'all like that. But it's to the point where you have to be a bad person. Like, you have to be to think like that. And it really hurts my feelings if you're a black man or a black woman and you still think like that. That breaks my heart so much, because I hate shit like that. Y'all know, I'll say it every episode, I'm gonna believe a black woman first until proven guilty, period. To have someone raise a gun to you is already scary as fuck. Then to actually shoot at me while we're drunk, on top of being drunk, is even scarier. And then what if, while shooting at me, your drunk ass arm waved the wrong way and now I'm Meg the paraplegic? You get what I'm fucking saying? Like, you could have fucking killed me. Like, he could have really killed her. Like, I don't understand this whole, I really don't understand people sometimes. Like, oh, is she doing too much? Like, oh, I would have just ate the bullet. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. This bitch got shot at. Even if he didn't shoot her, even if the bullet never touched her, he raised the gun to me. Like, no. Me personally, I would have hired somebody to shoot that nigga back and better if I could just be honest with y'all for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't even want to do the whole trial thing. She didn't even want to take it to the police because she said she didn't want to get another black man locked up. She was going to 86 the whole fucking event. She was going to 86 the whole shit. This nigga already had multiple counts of aggression, multiple counts of whatever the fuck. It was just the cherry on top that he shot her, that nigga got 10 years to go to jail. Talking about you're putting another black man in jail. But y'all don't care about the black woman that got shot. I don't understand it, y'all. And I don't know if it makes me more sad or more mad that all the time, every fucking day, for fucking ever, whenever a black woman says anything, what we do for fun or what we do for a living gets used as an excuse not to take what the fuck we saying seriously. And motherfuckers always wonder why black women appear so mad and negative. It's because for a million fucking years, nobody listens to shit we say until we start throwing shit, yelling, and beating motherfuckers up. Just for the next day to see another race say the exact same shit we were saying and it be taken as gospel the first time hearing that shit. Of course I got a fucking attitude. It's like people hold black women to this manly ass standard and then scream at us to be more feminine. Like nobody gives a fuck about black women except black women. And even those numbers are slim because some of us don't even know how to break out of that fucking slave mentality. Yes, I'm talking about our grandmas, our aunts, and our mothers. So you got the whole world thinking we're this big ass group of lying, aggressive, inhumane ass bitches and still expect us to walk around on our tippy toes with lollipops and fairy dust falling on our ass, willing and able to submit to a man that don't even calm the storm that we go through every fucking day. Please please. It's a hard no for me. It's going to be a hard, constant, always no. Fuck no. Y'all, that shit made me so mad. I can't even really dig into how mad it made me because I'm gonna start yelling like I did on that drunk ass episode that's never seen the light of day. But it really, really bothered me that at the time where a black woman needs, that's some scary shit. I've been shot at. I've had a gun held to me before and I've seen somebody be shot before. Never once in the time I've seen somebody get shot be like, oh, nigga, get up. You could have ate that bullet. Oh, he dragging it. My first instinct is to be like, is this nigga okay? He's not going to make it. We need to call somebody. I do not understand how y'all can, and not y'all personally. I'm not talking to y'all. You know, I'm talking to y'all know who I'm talking about. I just don't understand how somebody can be shot at or shot and then turn around and be blamed as the bad guy. Like, huh? If we being honest, that nigga music not even that good. So all the dick riding fans is just like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all not missing out on nothing. You know what I mean? He not even really gonna do 10 years. That nigga probably gonna do 5 or 6. Good behavior. You know what I'm saying? If he was like a legend, like if we were losing like a real musical icon, I could be like, damn, like y'all couldn't give my nigga like, you know what I'm saying? But even then, nigga, do the crime, do the time, go to jail. I don't care. You shoot me, I promise you, I'm hiring somebody to shoot you back. And that's just me being totally honest with y'all. Like I promise you, all the Meg money I got, somebody else is getting shot. My opinion has been. And luckily for me, I'm not a fan of either one of them. So I don't have a biased opinion. All I know is that the little documents and the lawyer quotes and shit they've given to the public. So I can look at it without a biased opinion. I don't listen to either one of their music. But I know fucked up when I see fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the whole situation is confusing. Yes, the whole situation is fucked up. But that nigga is the only one who pulled the trigger. That nigga is the only one that got to go to jail. And I here I go stuttering. Here I go. But I'm just saying, I don't understand how it's hard to understand that. Maybe a couple of y'all need to get shot at, and then you can understand the fucking picture because that shit is scary. I hate a fake like hood nigga online. Like you, a motherfucker who's never even seen a gun in real life talking about how this bitch could handle being shot at or not. Like, ugh. But all right, y'all, let's wrap up the episode. You know what is next. We have an Am I the Asshole. Now, this Am I the Asshole is going to be a little different. I'm not reading it. I'm stealing it from another podcast. If you're a podcast connoisseur, then you already know where this Am I the Asshole is from. But it was so diabolical that I had to steal it because there was no way that I could hear this and just let it be that. So this is about to be a real ghetto am I the asshole, because I didn't write it down and I don't have it screenshotted. Like I said, I heard it on another podcast. So I'm just going to reiterate it the way I heard it. So this am I the asshole is from a man. This man is like in his mid-30s and he's with his wife, who's also in her mid-30s. They go to a party with his wife's friends from college. They're having a great time. Everybody's drinking, playing games, having a good jolly time. Then one of the man's wife's friends go up to the wife and say, hey, have you told your husband about that one time back in college when you made those two dudes fight over you? So the wife is like, no, I never told him that. And then the husband's like, wait, what happened? Like, who fought? Like, what's going on? The wife is like, no, you don't want to hear that. I never told you that for a reason. This is just a stupid story. We were drunk. It was a college, like, it was back in college. Like, it was just a stupid fucking thing that happened. I want to tell you. So the husband is like, no, tell me. I want to know. And the wife is like, no, babe, please. I like this. It's stupid as fuck. Like, I really don't like, you don't know the story for a reason. Like, I don't feel like sharing the story. So the husband keep pressing, like, tell me. Like, I want to know. Like, it sounds like a good story. I want to know. So the wife breaks. She go, okay. So what happened was the wife back in college, all her friends that are there now were there then, minus the husband because he didn't know her back then. And there was the two dudes trying to talk to her. Everybody was drunk, right? So they're slurring over their words to the point where they're getting aggressive with one another because both of them want her alone, but the other is in the way. So they're starting to get the fuck away. I'm trying to do my thing. So she notices that and she tells them, all right, look, if you two fight, like actually fight, whoever wins the fight, I'ma sleep with them. So these two niggas actually start rumbling, tumbling like it's WWE, and one of them get their ass whooped, and she leave with the winner. Like she said she would. So after she tells her husband the story, her husband gets mad, and he said that this bitch owes him an apology for telling him that story. He said he didn't marry a hoe. He didn't know she was like that. You owe me an apology. I would never wanted to know that. And so on and so forth. And the wife is confused as fuck. Like, oh, nigga, didn't you asked me to tell you the story? How are you mad at me when you begged me 5 times to tell you the story and I said no every time but the 5th time? What do you mean I owe you an apology? What are you talking about? So then he was like, oh, am I the asshole for getting mad? Yes! What are you talking about? That is what? The minute the party was over, I would have dragged that nigga to the courthouse. We would have got a divorce. We're signing the papers today. Judge, let me tell you the story, because after you hear the story, you not gonna want me to be with this nigga again either. Because there's no way you just asked me for an apology for a story that you begged me to hear. And then get this. Would you rather have had me tell you the story from the point of view of being the woman that 2 dudes fought over, or being the woman that fought over a nigga? You know what I'm saying? What if I was 2 bitches that fought over some dick? You know what I mean? That would have really changed your opinion of me, wouldn't it? Like, yeah, this was 15 years ago, nigga, and I was drunk. You ain't even know me then. Talk about some apology. Fuck you. If I was married to a man, hell, if I was married to a woman, and she told me a story about back in her high school days, he got 2 women to fight against him, to sleep with him, and they actually did it, I would have dapped him up so hard. I'd be like, you must have been that nigga in high school. You must have had all the juice. They actually fought each other, like blow for blow. Not no play little wrestle fight on the floor kicking and screaming. Like, these bitches were actually throwing punches. Oh, you got it. I would have been like, wow, my man is my man. Like, that's some cool shit. Now, if my man would have been like, oh yeah, back in college, there was this girl I was really feeling and we was drunk and she told us to fight over her. And so I beat my friend up so I could sleep with her. I'd be like, ooh, okay. That is information you should not have told me. I apologize to you for making you tell me that story. Bitch, I did not want to know that. You know what I'm saying? But for the life of me, I just could not understand why he wanted, first of all, I didn't marry a hoe. You didn't marry a hoe? Oh my gosh. I would have punched him in the mouth just for that sentence alone. You didn't marry a hoe? Of course you did it. Why does that now make me a hoe? I didn't say I did that shit every Friday. I said I did it one time in college when I was drunk. And I didn't tell you for a reason because she probably knew the way he think. Girl, couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. I wish my wife or my husband would. Please. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that, because I do know that some relationships have certain standards and certain morals that they don't cross. Like, I've been in a relationship before where my nigga didn't play that celebrity crush shit. He would genuinely get mad. Like, if Childish Gambino popped up on the screen and I was like, oh my God, I love this nigga, I would look over, he'd be pissed. He'd be irritated. And I'd be like, I'm never going to meet him in my life. And if I did, I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? This nigga got 12 years on me tops. He is not interested in my little young ass. Like, relax. So I do know that there's certain boundaries and shit. But that one from the Am I the Asshole, I didn't give a fuck about that. That's a whole boundary situation that you got to work on yourself. Because ain't no way you want me to apologize. The apology, y'all can tell the apologies was really getting me. Because I couldn't understand. How do you want an apology for some shit that you begged me to tell you? I'm going to wrap the episode up there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Okay, guys, that's the end of the episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you know your girl's on TikTok. Let's make this podcast the podcast, okay, y'all? I want to hear you talk about it in the streets. 5 stars if you're feeling frisky, and 5 stars even if you're not. All the beautiful music in this episode is by the amazing Zoe Marie. Zoe's music can be found on all streaming platforms, so please go listen and love it just like I do. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.